Good morning. Hello, everyone. I'm Sandra Jones, and I'm delighted you've joined us today, especially as I know you're all extremely busy. We'd like to tell you about our JobSense employability programme to ensure you're aware of what we offer eligible people who have barriers to the job market caused by their hearing and/or sight loss, as well as inaccessible recruitment processes and negative attitudes of many employers. So the Welsh Government identified there was a need to support people who are deaf, have tinnitus or sight loss to help them move closer to the jobs market. JobSense is funded by the Wales European Funding Office and comprises three partners: RNID, Elite Supported Employment, and the Centre of Sign, Sight and Sound. I'm one of the RNID employment advisors on JobSense, and outside of work, I'm a mother of a young deaf person and a British Sign Language user. So today's webinar is designed to help you know more about us and how to engage. This could simply be by signposting or referring customers that you feel may benefit from our support. So why are we here? So our research shows that deaf people and those with hearing loss are 4 times more likely to be unemployed than those with no sensory loss. We know many employers are apprehensive about working with people who can't hear or see well. Nearly 60% of employers believe more support is needed to help them recruit people who are deaf or have sight loss. Alarmingly, 2/3 are unaware of the Access to Work scheme, which provides help with additional costs of recruiting people with disabilities. So our unique selling point is our expertise in working with deaf people and those with tinnitus and sight loss. We work with employers too to help them recruit more hardworking and loyal employees who've got sensory loss. Thank you. Over to you, Donna.
Thank you, Sandra, and good morning, everybody. My name is Donna Palmer, and I'm an employment advisor at the Centre of Sign, Sight and Sound, again, working on the JobSense project. So ultimately, we are an employment project. We support people, as Sandra said, with sensory loss into employment training and volunteering. We do this by a number of different ways. So we create CVs and cover letters. We offer support in job searching and the application process. We do interviewing preparation and practice. We source suitable volunteering roles and appropriate training. Generally, all the typical employment-related services. However, we realise that people with hearing and vision loss face many barriers even before they start looking for opportunities. Often things like outdated skills, lack of motivation, or a feeling of being overwhelmed can hinder their progression. However, when you look past these issues, it is often isolation, low confidence, or poor mental well-being that is at the heart of their barriers. And is in reality, it's these issues that we're trying to address. And without addressing these issues first, we're setting the person up for a fail, and obviously we don't want to do that. Shortly, we're going to give you examples of the work that we do. But as Sandra mentioned earlier, we also support employers and try to break down barriers that they feel are there. Through discussion, we find that sometimes their views are outdated or are misinformed. So we try to provide correct information, training if it's required, and continue to build ongoing, strong, supportive relationships. And we're able to show employers that people with sensory loss can bring amazing things to their workplace. So over to you now, Tina. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Hi, guys. I'm Tina Hewitt from Elite Supported Employment advisor on the JobSense project, and we support people with sight loss. So how do we do this? Our service is very specialised to the individual, and they lead the journey. Over time, we help the participant identify areas that they may need support with. For example, a client may feel out of date with their technical skills, so we will offer training to upskill the person, such as using specialised computer software. This not only improves their knowledge and level of skill, but also boosts their independence, confidence, self-esteem, and reduces isolation, enabling the individual to access online training, access in chat rooms, and to continue having contact with the trainer and other services. We take a holistic approach on the programme to include some of the actions that you see on the slide, to ease them into volunteering, placements, and eventually paid employment. Here are some case studies of our participants on the JobSense project. So it's over to Sandra.
Thanks, Tina. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so this is Lindsay. She's a British Sign Language user who also relies on lip reading. So she was provided one-to-one support to achieve accredited employability training, which included a CV, cover letter, job application forms and interview skills. Her advisor provided in-work support, and successfully Lindsay completed a 4-week work placement in a nearby care home. A better off in work calculation was provided, which enabled Lindsay to independently decide what hours best suited her for a better work-life balance, and really to understand how working different hours would affect her current benefits. So, supported by her advisor at interviews, which increased her confidence, she successfully achieved a full-time job outcome in a nearby care home. Deaf awareness training was provided to staff, giving them tips and tactics to enhance communication. So Lindsay felt really included in the workplace. And I'm very happy to say that Lindsay has today achieved sustainable employment with the same employer and continues to grow and develop in her role a year and a half on. Thank you. I'm now going to pass you back to Donna.
Thank you, Sandra. So this is Kundai, a participant that I've been working with. She has both hearing and vision loss, and she uses a long cane when she's travelling about. When Kundai first joined us, she wasn't looking for work or volunteering. She quite simply, she felt lost, to be honest, and she felt that she had nothing to offer. She was quite isolated, and her self-esteem was very low, and she depended on all the people and family around her, really. So our first thing with Kundai is that we started introducing her to different social groups. So various coffee mornings in the local area. She joined the Vision Support Group and also the Macular Society, who were fantastic with her. Also Deafblind UK, she joined their group as well. We started accompanying her on the routes, so she'd become familiar with the routes, so that if in the future she wants to go on her own, she could do, and she is now doing on her own. We provided lots of training for Kundai. We introduced her to Braille classes, a mentoring course. She also did the work-related certificate with us. And we use that as a reflection tool, really, to pull out all the skills and qualities that she'd forgot she's got. We got involved with lots of things. So if we were doing any training, we'd ask Kundai to come and join us. So she learned lots of different things as well. We did a lot of well-being sessions with her, and we did things like resilience and anxiety training. We thought about mindfulness. So she had a really clear, good, robust well-being toolbox. We also worked with social services to organise her assessment of needs. So equipment around the house, so flashing doorbells, vibrating alarms, that kind of thing. Kundai also wanted us to organise an allotment for her, which we supported her in doing, and it's the positive impact on her mental and physical health has just been amazing. So throughout the pandemic, obviously everything went online, and Kundai was struggling to join in. So we worked in partnership with Leonard Cheshire, and we've managed to get her training and also equipment, so she can now go online and we can have meetings. And that's where we thought that Kundai's journey was going to end with us, until she started talking about wanting to volunteer. So about 2 or 3 months ago now, she started her IT training with the Salvation Army. and she decided that she wanted to become an email befriender with Deafblind UK. So back over to Tina, thank you.
Thanks, Donna. So this is Dorothys' story. Dorothy has sight loss and joined the JobSense program 10 months ago during the pandemic. Dorothy suffered sight loss in 2012, and since then, she has become low in confidence, isolated, and dependent on her family. Firstly, we only interacted by phone, saying she wanted to use the computer skills effectively again to be able to access online platforms and to use her computer skills. As pre-2012, she worked as a receptionist in a dental practice and was experienced with using all the software. Although Dorothy wanted this, she thought she would not be able to achieve this as she didn't even have a laptop. So, with our specialised support, we applied for a grant from RNIB to obtain a laptop for her to access online platforms. This was successful, and she now has her own laptop with audio aids. We conducted weekly phone calls during the pandemic to conduct well-being and confidence-building activities, providing reassurance and information that there was help, support, and guidance during this time. Also, with support from her daughter, we connected Dorothy to Teams meetings and to join group sessions. We then started to meet with Dorothy face-to-face, building confidence to meet at a coffee shop, and also completed orienteering around her local area. As things started to open up, we organised walk and talk groups. This encouraged social interaction, positive impact on mental and physical health, and reduced isolation. You can see us there in the group photo. We also started our group IT training sessions at Sight Life in Cardiff. They have accessible IT equipment and we meet there on a Monday. Here we are in the photo again. Dorothy uses specialised software which enables her to listen to what she is typing, accessing chat rooms or browsing the internet to shop independently or do some research. Currently, she is practicing using Word and is writing letters and creating documents. Dorothy's journey continues. She now practices her IT skills at home, accessing online social media, connecting with her family in Ivory Coast, and most of all, she's believing she can do some volunteering using these skills. Now over to Camille from RNID for info on criteria and referral.
Thank you, Tina, and hello everyone. I'm Camille, Employment Advisor on JobSense with RNID. And as you can guess, looking at the presentation now, I'm briefly going to explain our eligibility criteria. I'm going to state general on purpose, and the reason is you have nothing to lose in contacting us. Worst that can happen is an ineligible referral with some advice from us to signpost to more appropriate organizations and programs. Overall, we support any individual over 25 with hearing loss and or sight loss, not currently in employment and living in Wales. You can also see who can refer, and it is pretty much anyone. The whole point is that as soon as you think of someone who might need our support, including yourself, you can refer safely to us. And I guess it also gives you an insight into how diverse our network is, which can only be a good thing, really, when supporting an individual with various needs and who would benefit from collaborative work between different agencies and organizations. You can refer by post, phone, email, text, and online. You can also contact the person you know on the project. The idea is really for you to have that space to have a chat with us and discuss options, so do not hesitate. But now is the most exciting part after case studies, and it is question time. So if you have any question, go for it. It would be our absolute pleasure to answer them. And we actually already received some by email. So while you are thinking about it, here's the first one, and it was, why is volunteering so important for our participants?
I don't know if you want to answer that one, Donna, because I was just listening to the tremendous work you did with Kundai, for instance. I mean, it says it in the presentation, but you might want to just reiterate, how amazing volunteering was.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, volunteering is vital. I mean, apart from all the obvious skills that it gives a person, obviously they're upskilling, they're meeting new people, they're in the working environment. It also gives people a sense of purpose. It builds confidence, it reduces isolation. People tap into the skills that they forget that they've got. And it shows that they can. And that's really the point of introducing people to different scenarios is to remind them that they can do things, they can get involved and they can progress. So it's super, super important.
Great. Anyone with any further questions? If you want to pop anything in the chat, if you don't want to sort of have your camera or speak, you can pop a question in the chat box if you'd like. Got very quiet people today. Obviously, we've done such a good job, haven't we, of answering all your questions.
Well, I mean, if nobody has any questions now, if you think of any, once the webinar is over, if you want to email any one of us, please feel free to do so. We are going to send out the presentation to all participants that joined us today. Thank you for that. So you've got all our contact details if you do wish to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. So again, if you think of a question or any query you've got after the webinar, just contact any of us. We'll be more than happy to get back to you as soon as we can with the answer. So, thank you so much for your time from all of us here on the JobSense project. Thank you so much for attending today.
Sorry, Sandra, we've just had a question through chat. Okay. The question is, do customers need to be unemployed for a specific length of time to access your services?
Who wants to take that one? Tina, do you fancy answering that one? It's up to you.
Yeah, they need to be unemployed for 6 to 12 months, really. However, they can be economically inactive as well. So, so basically they can do a self-referral or self-declaration, and, you can put down on the form why, you would like our service and how our service would benefit you as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So
and
that
also,
would be okay.
That's great. Yeah, thanks, Tina. And I was just going to sort of add to that, really. If a customer is economically inactive and needing support from an advisor to job search, then they don't have to be sort of unemployed for 6 to 9 months. They can, just send us the referral, and as long as we're evidencing that they need our support to access services, then we can also, take that referral as well. It's a good question. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got another question there. We've got Rex on our project manager. I don't know if Rex, if you want to answer that one at all, and you can be nice for people to see you. I noticed that you are ESF funded. Are you able to work in partnership with other employability programs?
I'm not sure if my camera's on, but I hope you can hear me. Thank you very much indeed for the question. I think the simple answer is yes, we are able to. There will be sort of housekeeping that we need to attend to about who can claim what particular success with each individual client. But we would be able to work in partnership with other programs. Yes, is the simple answer to the question. Always, we will be guided, I think, by the individual and by what their greatest barriers to employment are. So we're looking at one possible referral at the moment. And we need to decide with the referring agency whether we are better suited to help that individual overcome his barriers to employment or they are. Hope that helps.
I think we got another question there. Can a person on long-term sick with their employer because of their visual impairment access their service? I think the answer to that would be no, really, wouldn't it? Because the person has got to be unemployed or economically inactive. However, there is support out there from RNIB. They got an employment advisor as well, or RNID. They would help as well, you know, for hearing loss. There's also access to work as well. That could help in that case if they are on long-term sick, yeah, and they need support to get back into work. I hope that's okay. Is it a similar service operating in England? Anybody know?
I know that organisations like the RNIB have similar employment supported services, and I know the Macular Society also have a employment service, but they're not. I mean, we're very unique in the fact that we deal with both sensory losses, so both hearing impairments and vision impairment, and also with people who have tinnitus as well. So, you know, as you can imagine, there are several varying degrees of all of those conditions. So it's in that respect, I think, that we're quite unique. I've not come across a service that deals with both hearing and vision loss with regards to employment. I could stand corrected, I could be wrong, but I can't think off the top of my head that there is one like us, really.
No.
Yeah, I hope that helps. You're welcome.
Could you tell us about where JobSense now operate? I think we now throughout Wales, in me. I think it's Pan Wales now, every area.
So we also have a question from Ian Edwards. Thank you, Ian. How do we work together? We are always needing blind and partially sighted people to volunteer to deliver our telephone befriending service. And that's fantastic. That's such a lovely kind of hand of partnership there. I obviously have your details, Ian, and if you don't mind, I'll pass them to my colleagues. We are always looking for opportunities to kind of support our participants as well, and to be able to volunteer with Sightline. That would be fantastic. Thank you. So yes, I've got your details now, and I will certainly pass them through to my colleagues. Thank you.
Yeah, good. You're great.
That's great.
And RNIB employment team can assist customers who are in work and need support. So that's good.
It's great to know there's so much support there, isn't there? Which is lovely.
Yeah, yeah. Any more questions? Or
no, I'm just thinking that doesn't seem to be any more, but
no.
Some people are needing to go now because they have other meetings to attend. But as I say, we just, all of us from JobSense, just want to really appreciate your time attending today. It's been fantastic. So thank you very much to everyone who's attended. And as I say, any questions that you might think of afterwards, you can just drop us a line. So thank you so much for your time today. It's been great having you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Excellent, thank you, Vanessa.